Alright guys, it's that time of year again to do my top 10 list, and the first one we're doing here today is my top 10 Oculus Quest 2 games for 2021. Now remember, in this video we're talking about just Quest 2 games, so you won't see things like Lone Echo 2 that could have been on this list because that is technically on PC VR and not natively on the Quest 2, which is the list we're talking about here today. Something I want to mention real quick as well, if you guys like this channel and want to help support me, there's a link down in the description below to get $60 credit on the Oculus Quest store. If you buy an Oculus Quest 2, you use the link down below. I get $60 to use in the Quest store. You get $60 to use in the Quest store. That way I can keep getting games to make reviews and stuff for you guys, and then you get $60 as well. So use that link in the description below if you guys can to help me out, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, before we get into today's video, let's talk about today's sponsor. I'm sure a lot of folks out there are a lot of people out there who wear glasses in VR. And in the beginning, I actually always used to wear glasses like these glasses that you're looking at me wearing right now in VR. And granted, they do fit in the Oculus and the Oculus Quest 2, they always have, but they're not exactly comfortable. So of course, I went looking for another solution. And I tried a lot of different lenses that were made, prescription lenses of course, that were made for VR. You know, I tried the Windmill VR lenses, I tried, all the other lenses that are out there, and all of them were good. But there's one that stood out for me, and there's a specific reason for it, and that's VR Waves lenses. Now, I've been using VR Waves lenses for a long time now, ever since they came about and they got brought into my radar. And one of the reasons is because of the magnetic design. What this magnetic design allows it to do is it allows for easy removal when you put it on your Quest 2. And that's really important because, for me especially, I love showing VR to other friends and family. I'm doing it all the time. I'm bringing it all around. But obviously when I'm using it, I want to be able to use my lenses, but I don't want to have to take it off and mount it back on in some hard way like some of the other ones used to be. Well, with this one, with the magnetic design, it literally just magnetizes to the clip that stays in your Quest 2 the whole entire time. It magnetizes right on top of there, and you can easily remove it in a half a second and put it back in a half a second. And it works really, really well. Some of the other options that VR Wave also offers is also the blue light filter option that blocks most of the blue light out. They also, of course, ship worldwide. And of course, we're talking about the Quest 2 here, but don't forget that they offer these lenses for a variety of other headsets as well, like the HP Reverb G2 and the Valve Index as well. And one of the benefits, of course, of using a lens like this is not only the magnetic design for easily removal that we talked about, but of course, it protects your original lenses on the Quest 2 as well, because there's obviously a protection over it, and you're not actually damaging the lenses inside, and that is obviously great, because you never want to damage your lenses, because then they're damaged forever. Now, there will be a deep discount on the VR Wave lenses throughout the Christmas week. I also have a discount code down below if you want to get those now and use my discount code to be able to get it. That is linked in the description below. But also, there will be a discount during the Christmas week to give you even more percentage off if you guys want to wait during Christmas week. If not, you can use my discount code below at any time and receive the discount listed below. So if you want to get yourself a pair, either use the link in the description below for my discount code, or if you want to wait during Christmas week for the bigger discount, you can go to www.vr-wave.store, which will also be in the description below.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so the first one on my list coming up here at number 10 is a game called Stride. Now Stride is a game that costs $14.99 and is really, really fun. So if you guys are familiar with games like Mirror's Edge and stuff from back on the 360 days, this game reminds me of that. It's a parkour game. You're running around these on top of rooftops, and you're running around trying to get from building to building, and you're trying to kill enemies along the way. You're parkouring across these buildings, and the newest update actually added some inside areas that you can parkour through, and the movement system is really, really fluid. It's really fun. There's a lot of things that make this game great, and the only reason it's actually not higher on this list is because I'm waiting for the big update that they're going to add with multiplayer, because I think when multiplayer comes out, when you can actually compete against each other and do 1v1 or 2v2, whatever the case may be, and try to get to the end at as fast as possible, competing against another person side by side, it's going to elevate this game to be even more fun. As of right now, it's like leaderboards and trying to get through a run as fast as possible and stuff like that, or endless mode or a timed run, but there's a lot of fun to be had in this game already. Really, really fun movement system, really, really fun to play, and I can't wait to see what they do with future updates. That's Stride coming in at number 10. The next one here coming in at number 9 is the newest game on the list, and that is After the Fall, which is coming in at $39.99 and just released this past week. And this game is fantastic, guys. I've been looking forward to a game like this for a really long time to come to VR. Basically, a 4-player cooperative zombie shooter. Think Left 4 Dead in VR, which is what a lot of people are comparing it to. You basically have these harvest missions. There's 5 harvest missions in there right now. And you basically do those and you try to collect harvest, bring them back to upgrade your weapons, upgrade your gear, go in there again at higher difficulties and kind of do it all over again. So it's definitely very Left 4 Dead if you like that gameplay loop. The only reason this one's a little lower on the list too is because it just came out and it definitely needs a few more pieces of content to make it stand out. I did a full review on this one so you guys can check it out. After the Fall, coming in at number 9. The next one coming in here at number 8 is a game made by Oculus, and it's a sequel to a game that we all know and love originally when it came out, and that is The Climb 2. The Climb 2 comes in at $29.99, and this game is really, really fun, guys. So this is obviously a sequel to the original one that we all knew and loved back in the day, and this game kind of elevates it to bringing it to new scenarios. So you're not just scaling a mountain this time, but now you're scaling buildings, you're on icy territories like this, and it's amazing what VR can do when you look down and you see how high you're standing when you're rock climbing over these things. And it's a lot of fun to show friends this for the first time when they want to see, you know, what VR can do and their fear of heights and stuff like that. This game is a lot of fun. It has leaderboard support, has asynchronous multiplayer, so you can face someone else's ghosts and stuff like that to try and get through a level as fast as possible. Climbing these skyscrapers, climbing these mountains, and climbing the cityscapes. It's a lot of fun, a lot of variety in this one. And yeah, this is a really good time. If you guys are fans of the original, you guys will definitely like the sequel because it's more of the same, but just bigger and better environments and with asynchronous multiplayer. So it's a lot of fun. Check this one out, guys. The Climb 2. The next one on this list is also a sequel to a game, and this is I Expect You to Die 2, coming in at $24.99. Now, this is a game that, you know, a lot of puzzle fans are going to obviously love, especially if you like the original, because this sequel is basically everything you wouldn't want out of a sequel, of it being a bigger, better version of the original. So if you guys like the original, make sure you check out this sequel here, because everything is bigger and better, and the puzzles are more intricate, the puzzles are longer, there's a lot more to do. There's 6 different missions in here that are much longer than the originals. You know, it feels like basically an escape room that you're trying to escape. I actually don't usually like puzzle games, and this one is actually one of my exceptions. I have a lot of fun with this one, but just note that it's obviously a puzzle game, and if you guys have never played this or the original, you know, you're going to have to like escape room-like games where, you know, you're going to have trial and error, where you're trying to touch different things to see, oh, that didn't work, let's go try over here, try over there. So if you're into that style of gameplay and you want to try a game like this, an escape room game in VR, this game is fantastic in every way, and it's definitely a game that a lot of people should check out, especially if they like the original, because they did a fantastic job with the sequel, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I Expect You to Die 2. The next one coming in here at number 6 is ForeVR Bowl, coming in at $19.99, and this bowling game is fantastic, and the devs of this game are also fantastic. They actually have a new game coming out, a darts version of this game, which I've already played and is really, really exciting, coming out later this month. But this bowling game is everything a bowling game in VR that I want. Not only do they have standard lanes to bowl, if you want to just play standard lanes, but they have the cool lanes where you're underwater, all these themed different alleys that they have, and then they have over 100 balls that are in there that all have different effects and all behave in different ways. Guys, the game is fantastic. Definitely check this one out. These devs are also always adding content for VR Bowl. This next one here coming in at number 5 surprised me and how much I actually like it, and that is Star Wars Pinball VR. So this one is just done super, super well. The pinball in VR is definitely a different experience. As somebody who owns a pinball machine, a virtual pinball machine at home, playing it in VR is a whole different experience, especially with Zen Pinball, where they have little mini games that pop up and little things that are happening around you as you're playing pinball that really takes advantage of playing pinball in VR. It's not just a standard table in front of you. You know, there's 3D effects going on around you. There's mini games that pop up like this one while you're playing. And then there's the fan cave where you can actually customize all these Star Wars helmets, statues, and posters that you unlock as you're playing the game. And it's basically your own man cave of Star Wars where you can walk around and, you know, customize everything like the rug. And it's just, they did a really, really good job. And more than, it's not just 10 pinball games in VR. That Star Wars man cave makes it even cooler that you can unlock things and do things in there as you progress through the game and as you unlock things by getting higher scores in these pinball tables. And the pinball tables have done really well. They've actually added a couple via free DLC as well, which was nice to see because I didn't expect them to add anything via DLC later on. So this game hits all the boxes for Star Wars fans, for pinball fans, and if you've never played pinball in VR, it's definitely one you guys need to check out because it's a lot of fun to play a game like this in VR. That is Star Wars Pinball VR, coming in at number 5. So this next one here, coming in at number 4, caught me by surprise because I never heard about it until it actually dropped, and I'm a really big fan of this genre in general on VR, and that is Wraith: The Oblivion Afterlife, coming in at $29.99. Now, in this game, basically what happens is that you're actually dead. You're a Wraith and you're dead. You're trying to figure out, and the story goes on how you died and why you died and all that kind of stuff, and you're exploring a mansion as the Wraith. And you use its powers. The powers that you have are really cool. The story that's being told is awesome. The graphics are superb in here. And it is scary as all hell. But there's a lot of people, if you look at the reviews, that haven't even finished the game, that got towards the end but can't get their mind to finish it because of how scary the game actually is. And they can't get themselves to actually finish it. I love horror games in VR, and this one is simply one of the best out there, especially definitely the best this year. And if you guys have not checked this one out yet and you guys are fans of horror games, you definitely owe it to yourself to go look at this one on the Oculus Quest 2 because it's everything you would want out of a horror game. You know, it's creepy, it's scary, graphics are great, story is good, and it's a different experience than all the other horror games. It's not just a walk-through mansion. You're actually playing the Wraith, somebody who's dead, trying to figure out what is going on. It's really, really good, guys. Check this one out. Wraith: The Oblivion Afterlife. Now, this next one on the list is a game that I actually don't see getting a lot of buzz, especially when it came out, and that's really unfortunate because this game is really, really good. And I'm talking about Resist, coming in at $19.99. Now, this game is basically a single-player action RPG, basically in an open world, and think Spider-Man in VR. You're basically latching onto buildings, moving like Spider-Man through this gigantic city. It's an open world, but it's just so much fun. The story is cool. The missions that you're doing are good. The side missions and the mini games that you're playing are all really good. The swinging and the movement system feels fantastic as you're looking at here. There's a lot to do in this game, and I'm actually surprised that it, like, you know, the people that have played it have kind of been on the same page as me. Some of them call it their game of the year. Some of them say it's a high up there kind of thing. But a lot of people just haven't heard about this game or haven't been playing it or haven't been talking about it. And this game is really good, guys. This is a standout game in VR this year, or one of the standout games in VR this year. And definitely one that a lot of people are not talking about that they should be talking about, especially if you guys are fans of open world, doing missions, doing side missions and stuff like that, and swinging around like Spider-Man in VR. This is definitely not one to be missed. Again, Resist on the Oculus Quest 2. The next one coming in at number 2 is Unplugged air guitar, coming in at $24.99. And this one caught me by surprise because I've tried hand tracking games before on the Quest 2, and I thought all of them were not that great for the most part, with the exception of another one. But this one really caught me by surprise on how well it actually works. The fact that you can play a rhythm game in VR, a music rhythm game in VR with your hands, and it actually track your hands really well as you're moving it along the guitar. And it actually feels like you're playing guitar too. It ain't no joke. It's just a lot of fun, really good, especially if you like rhythm games like I do, like Beat Saber and stuff like that. This is all rock music. You actually get to play a guitar. You use just your hands. There's no controllers you need to hold. And it caught me by surprise on how well this actually worked and how much fun I'm having, which is why it's so high on this list. That is Unplugged air guitar. And my number 1 game of the year for 2021 on the Oculus Quest 2, probably isn't a surprise to most people, is Resident Evil 4, coming in at $39.99. Now, the reason that this one is so high on my list is for a couple of reasons. The first one is I never actually played Resident Evil 4. This is my first time playing through the game, so everything is new to me, and everything, I've never seen this before, so I'm not playing through the game knowing, because I never played this on the GameCube or any of the original consoles. For whatever reason, this one missed my radar, even though I played Resident Evil 1 and 2. I don't know how I missed this one, but either way, first time playing it in VR, so everything is new, and it feels so fresh and so new to me. And the job that they did in porting this over, the fact that they got a full game like this, that's a really old game, and actually ported it to VR, you can tell the amount of work that went into this game. Everything is done in VR correctly. It's not just a crappy port job that you might expect it to be because it used to be a 2D game. No, like, this game feels like it was made for VR. It actually feels like the game should only be played in VR, and I've actually heard a lot of people say, now that they've played it in VR, that this is the pinnacle way of actually playing it, that they don't want to play it in 2D anymore, that this is the way that the game was always meant to be played. So this game is one of the most fun games I've had this year, of course. It's fantastic, guys. Resident Evil 4 on the Oculus Quest 2. Alright, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video for my favorite games in the Oculus Quest 2 in 2021. There was a lot of great games that came out in VR today. I know a lot of people out there sometimes say, like, oh, where's all the good games? Well, there's all the games, blah, blah, blah. This list, I could have easily added more to it, and I thought there was a lot of good games this year. I'm always playing something new, and there's still games that I play, you know, from other years that I still play, you know, still to this day. So there's always stuff for me to play on the Quest 2. I don't think there's ever a shortage. There's always new things to look forward to. And there's a lot of stuff already to look forward to in 2022. This is obviously the first of many lists coming. Next week I'll be doing another Oculus Quest 2 video. That'll be my top 10 games of across the whole entire Oculus store since the initial time that the Oculus Quest 2 came out. So there's a lot of good stuff to talk about there. And then of course there's going to be, you know, top lists for other things like my favorite games overall. You know, my favorite board games of 2021. There's a lot of good stuff coming out in December. So guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. If you guys have any questions about what you guys saw in today's video, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.